Theater 5 presents It's a Work of Art.
Come in, gentlemen. Come in. I have been waiting for you. My name is Dr. Lazarus.
Dr. Lazarus, this is a surprise, sir.
Dr. Lazarus, this is a pleasure, sir.
Dr. Lazarus, this is an honor, sir.
A great privilege to meet you, sir.
And your names are?
Tom Black.
Dick White.
Harry Brown.
Joe Freeman, sir.
I'm delighted to welcome you, gentlemen. Delighted each of you were able to come. Be seated. Please be seated. Make yourselves comfortable. You've had a long journey. You must be very tired.
A little tired and very confused, sir.
Confused? How so, Mr. Freeman?
A matter of orientation, sir. Our aircraft altered direction half dozen times. Our car from the airfield seemed to travel a long way, yet cover a short distance. And the elevator in this building traveled so smoothly, I don't know whether it carried me up or down.
You are a man who likes to know where he is.
I'm afraid so.
No need for apology. A commendable trait. Let me orient you as best I may. Your location, gentlemen, is an isolated and uninhabited point in the northwest sector of the North American continent. You have descended from that point 2,500 feet below the surface of the Earth. You have arrived in the confines of an installation codified as BY-7.
A military installation, sir?
Military? No, indeed no. Our purpose here is strictly non-military, sir. We are a scientific post. Purely science. Pure science. Needless to add, we operate with government funds under government contract. But doesn't everyone?
Why, sir, is a non-military post under such stringent security?
I am not free to supply that information for security reasons.
Dr. Lazarus, the rest of us want to say that we have no interest where we are nor how we got here. We know we're here to do a job, and we'd like to get on with it. Whatever it is.
Excellent. Proper attitude. Most commendable. Now, first, your general briefing. You foremen are now attached to the final phase of the operation classified as Project Adam. You have been screened, scrutinized, and selected as each of you has been found to be topmost personnel in his own field. Allow me to congratulate you on your excellence.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. Now, your specific briefing. Project Adam was initiated 21 months ago. Has been in process since that time and has culminated with the completion of this installation. The installation consists of 5 sections. Each section contains certain specific material. Your participation is the correlation and the assemblage of that material. Your program, gentlemen, will progress as follows. Each morning for 5 successive mornings, you will report to one of the 5 sections in sequential order. Section A on the first morning, Section B on the second, and so on through Section E on the 5th morning.
We assemble one section in one day, completing 5 sections on 5 successive days.
Correct. On the 6th day, you will report to the project room. There you will coordinate the 5 completed sections. You will assemble the total entity, the machine.
The total entity is to occupy just one day.
Correct.
And we complete our participation in 6 days.
Correct. On the 7th day, we test.
What will we be testing, sir?
The efficiency component and delivery potential of the machine. Of course.
Of course. Please continue briefing, sir.
Your daily log, gentlemen, is to be as follows. Report to section. Receive blueprints from me. Each set of prints will be found to be specific to that one section. Proceed according to blueprints. Complete section.
Sir, it would expedite matters to present us with full blueprints from the outset.
That is not the schedule.
Well, then we'll be working in the dark.
Precisely.
But if we could form a concept of the whole, if we could have a mental picture of the completed machine...
No one can form a concept of the whole, nor formulate a mental picture of the machine.
I thought it might be possible to learn.
You are a man who likes to understand what he is doing.
I'm afraid so, sir.
No need for apology. A commendable trait. And now, I must not keep you gentlemen from your rest. Every effort has been made to provide for your every comfort during your stay. You will be shown to your quarters. morning, gentlemen.
Oh, good morning, sir.
And so, we begin. The beginning of the end, you might say.
Yes, sir. We're ready.
Willing.
And anxious, sir.
Be good enough to gather around this screen, gentlemen. Thank you. I shall now project upon the screen this day's work. Gentlemen, the blueprints for Section A.
It's remarkable.
The plans please you, do they?
Marvelous, sir.
It's remarkable, sir.
Ingenious, sir.
Most interesting, sir.
I'm rather pleased myself, if I do say so.
Sir, this project is a terrestrial operation.
Terrestrial, Mr. Freeman? As opposed to aerospace?
Yes, sir.
It is terrestrial. You perceive that by observing the plans?
No, sir, from thinking about the titles. Project Adam. And the fact that we complete a section each day and finish our work on the 6th day. And the fact that on the 7th day, we test. We rest on the 7th day.
I don't quite follow.
The creation, sir. And God said, let the earth bring forth living creature after his kind. And it was so. And God said, let us make man. So God created man in his own image. Male and female created he them. And the morning and the evening were the 6th day. And on the 7th day, God ended his work. And he rested on the 7th day.
Yes, that's quite certain. I never realized it never occurred to me. Creation, Adam. Yes, very good. That's very good indeed. Most amusing. I chose the word Adam as the first word that popped into my head, beginning with the letter A. First letter of the alphabet, you see, to represent this project as the first of its kind. Quite a coincidence, eh? Most amusing.
And now, Dr. Lazarus, may we get to our work?
If you don't mind, sir.
We're losing good time, sir.
Oh, by all means, gentlemen. I shall leave you to your own good devices. Take care. Work carefully. Enjoy yourselves.
Can't you keep your mouth shut?
Sorry.
Must you blurt out whatever pops into your
I
head?
said I'm sorry.
You ought to stop bothering Dr. Lazarus.
I didn't mean to bother. It was just a thought.
So stop thinking. Section B, and there she stands. All wrapped up and ready for mailing.
Finished. Can't be. Seems like we just started work.
That's the truth. We must be ahead of schedule.
Yep, 4 p.m. on the nose.
Well, it sure doesn't seem I worked 8 hours.
Think Dr. Lazarus would let us get into Section C right away today? I'm not tired.
You know, the way this stuff falls together, I could keep at it round the clock.
I never worked from prints like these before. It isn't even work. Shall we ask Dr. Lazarus to let us work straight through?
Better not. He's set the schedule. Better not throw him a curve.
You're right.
Man, just take a look at that.
It's a beaut.
Honey.
I wonder what it's for.
What?
What?
I wonder what we're building.
What we're building?
You know what we're building?
We're building a machine.
What kind of machine? Why are we building it? Why is it needed? When and where will it be used?
He's talking again.
I'm asking questions, not just talking.
Look, what's the difference?
If you ask questions, you learn something. When you learn something, you know what you're doing. It's important to know what you're doing.
We know what we're doing.
We have work to do, we do it.
And that's all we have to know.
Oh, there's more. You have to know what you're working on. You have to know what you're building.
We're through for the day. Now let's go.
I wonder what's for dinner.
I wonder what's on TV.
You've got to ask why. Why?
That's what I call a good dinner.
Yep. They sure feed us good.
Home was never like this.
Hey, what'd you think of Section C today?
Hey, bowled me over.
Words don't exist to describe it.
You know, you'd never believe a human brain could plan this project.
Dr. Lazarus isn't human, he's superhuman.
Yeah.
He is a Superman.
Hey, look. Joe's still at it over there.
Yeah, what's he up to? What's he been scribbling?
A letter home.
Since before dinner. Would you miss dinner to write a letter home?
I'm going to see what I can get on TV.
Hey, make it an old movie. I go for old movies.
I sure would like to know what he's up to over in that corner.
Well, just go ahead and ask him.
Yeah, I'll do that. I'll just do that. How's it going?
It's rugged.
Have you a problem?
Yeah, puzzle. I'm trying to make sense from the 3 sections we finished.
Are you trying to do what?
Fit the 3 sections together. Thought it might give me an idea what the machine will look like.
You can't make them fit, huh?
Now, there must be some connecting portions that we haven't worked with. And I guess Dr. Lazarus is keeping a few secrets to himself until the last minute.
You're a smart man. Good way to keep nosy people from finding out more than's good for them.
Look, I tried to tell you that all I want to do is...
I've heard what you tried to tell me. Now, you hear me. Don't throw a monkey wrench into the works.
I'm not
I say you are. You keep poking around. You get Dr. Lazarus down on you. He gets down on you, and he comes down on the rest of us. Now, we're tied to you, like it or not. So you just tear up that paper and put away that pencil, and don't pick it up again. It's 3 days to Tea Day. 3 days when you don't scribble on paper and you don't talk. And that, friend, is an order.
Get on with it over there. Get on. You're holding up the progress.
What's the trouble?
He's holding operations. I can't continue my area. I'm in sequence with him.
I'll settle him. What's the matter? You need assistance over there?
No, thanks.
You've halted.
Sub-Area D, over here. Looks familiar to me. I've worked with something like it before.
Oh, forget it.
That's just the trouble. I have forgotten for the moment.
Well, forget it permanently and commence operation.
Give me a moment to think.
First you talk too much, then you scribble too much, now you think too much. You are dislocating the schedule, friend. I warned you last night. I'm warning you again.
Is there a difficulty, gentlemen?
Oh, sorry, sir. Very sorry. I hadn't realized that
I couldn't resist dropping in for a brief visit. I, too, am impatient, you know. Well, gentlemen, I'm deeply grieved to find conflict among you.
It's my fault, sir. Entirely my fault. I annoy the other men.
Oh? Do you now? In what way?
I annoy them by asking questions, sir.
What is your question?
Why is this machine being built?
So that we may learn its capacity?
Capacity to do what?
To perform.
Perform in what direction? What is its purpose?
Mr. Freeman, yours is an inquiring mind. Mankind's most precious possession is the inquiring mind. But such a mind must be disciplined, must control its range and limit its scope. Without discipline, self-discipline, the questioning mind is worse than useless. It is destructive, sir. I fear, Mr. Freeman, that yours is the undisciplined, inquiring mind.
In what way, sir?
It asks improper questions, irrelevant questions. It seeks purpose. It asks why.
Would you clarify, sir?
We are concerned with science. We limit our range and scope to the scientific outlook. Science investigates phenomena. It does not seek purpose. Science seeks to discover the laws governing nature and the universe, and therefore the proper question, the relevant question is, how? How was the universe formed? How was our solar system formed? How does gravity operate? How does life originate on Earth? Always, how? Never, never, why? Never, never, why?
Yes, sir, but this machine...
When you ask for its purpose, you violate the cardinal rule of scientific procedure. That rule is never anticipate experimental results.
Since I must not ask why, I will ask how. I will ask, how do we know we ought to build this machine?
All right, that's enough.
More than enough.
He does not speak for us, sir.
We know we must build the machine, Mr. Freeman, because we know we must carry knowledge forward. We must take the body of information gathered for us by previous investigators, and we must enlarge it. We have been led to a point. We must go beyond that point. We must learn what happens next. The machine
will tell us.
Can I talk to you fellas just once?
Gin. I have gin. Schneidered you both of you.
Listen, please, just one last time.
Who deals?
You do.
No, I just tell.
Okay. I do.
We must not go any further with the machine. Tomorrow we assemble all 5 sections. We must refuse. We've gone too far. We've been drawn on and on. The plans are so perfect, the parts so beautifully synchronized. We've been hypnotized, like being drawn further and further along a garden path by the beauty of one flower bed after the other, and never giving thought to where the path leads or what may be waiting at its end. But we must think about that. We must ask why the machine is being built. It's right to ask why. I can't explain it, I can't give reasons, but I know it's right and necessary to ask why. We must refuse to put the machine together tomorrow.
And that's gin.
Oh, no, not again.
I quit.
All right, come on, pay up.
Well done, gentlemen, well done. Now tell me, now that you see the machine in final form, how does it strike you?
Oh, never been anything to match it. Never.
It's a privilege to have had a hand in building it, sir.
Majestic. That's what it is, majestic.
Yeah, only one way to describe it. A work of art.
Yep. That's a work of art.
A work of art.
And you, Mr. Freeman, you formed no opinion?
It is indeed, sir. A work of art.
Well, gentlemen, the moment has arrived. That moment we may be forgiven for calling the moment of truth.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
I have a request.
Oh, no, please, Mr.
An
Freeman.
urgent request, sir.
Very well, state your request.
Do not test the machine.
What do you mean?
At least postpone the test until you've re-examined your plans.
Mr. Freeman, I have worked, reworked, and reworked my plans over a period of 10 years. Do you imagine they hold any mystery for me?
You've drawn the plans, sir, but I'm sure you haven't read them. Read them for meaning.
You ask me to anticipate the results of an experiment?
I do.
You ask me to violate the basic tenets of my profession?
I do. I must. If you will read your plans for meaning, you will understand what I understood after we assembled the full machine yesterday. You will realize that if ever that machine is set into operation,
Silence!
it's all there to be seen. It's crystal clear to anyone willing to see.
Silence!
I
Silence!
can't be silent. How can I be silent when I know that once you close the switch...
Silence him! Silence him!
Will you pleasure?
Damn, don't finish it. Don't. I tell you, leave me.
Keep him quiet.
Once and forever. Well, he ought not to have forced us to such extreme action. Take stations.
Ready, sir.
Ready, sir.
Ready, sir.
Operate.
Area 1 in operation, sir.
Area 2 in operation, sir.
Area 3 in operation, sir.
4. Area 4.
I'll get it, sir. Area 4 in operation, sir. Reverse the reaction.
It cannot be done.
Deaccelerate the fission.
It cannot be done.
Break the chain reaction.
It cannot be done. The machine must run its course.
The machine will destroy us. The machine will destroy all mankind. The machine will destroy the earth. Why?
Do you ask me to anticipate the results of an experiment? I do. Yes, I do. Yes, I do.
Theater 5 has presented It's a Work of Art, Written by Lillian Andrews, produced and directed by Warren Somerville. In the cast, Paul McGrath, George Petrie, Bill Mason, Hal Studer, and Donald Buca. Audio engineers Neil Pultz and Marty Folia. Sound technician Ed Blaney. Script editor Jack C. Wilson. Original music by Alexander Vlastotsenko. Orchestra under the direction of Glenn Osser. Executive producer for Theater 5, Lee Bowman. We invite your comments. Write to Theater 5, New York 23, New York. That's Theater 5, New York 23, New York. This is Fred Foy speaking. This has been an ABC Radio Network production.
The Adventures of Sam Spade, Detective. Brought to you by Wild Root Cream Oil Hair Tonic, the non-alcoholic hair tonic that contains lanolin. Wild Root Cream Oil. Again and again, the choice of men who put good grooming first.
Sam Spade Detective Agency.
Listen, you phone down to the drugstore and tell them to send up 3 gallons of black coffee.
Who is this? Are you sure you have the right number?
I'm sure I've got the right number, but I'm not so sure who I am.
Oh, Sam, it's you. You must have had a frog in your throat. Did you oversleep?
Effie, don't say things like that.
Oh, I'm sorry, Sam. Oh, you poor dear. You've been working. You're tired, that's it.
Tired? I've only just brought Lazarus back from the dead.
Well, then you better get some rest, Sam. You can dictate your report tomorrow.
That's what you think. Now stay where you are. If I'm asleep when I get there, wake me up. I'll be right down to dictate my report on the Lazarus Caper.
Dashiell Hammett, America's leading detective fiction writer and creator of Sam Spade, the hard-boiled private eye, and William Spear, radio's outstanding producer-director of mystery and crime drama, join their talents to make your hair stand on end with the adventures of Sam Spade. Presented by the makers of Wild Root Cream Oil for the hair. Next time you buy hair tonic, be sure you buy Wild Root Cream Oil. For you see, Wild Root Cream Oil gives you these advantages. It grooms your hair neatly and naturally, relieves annoying dryness, removes loose, ugly dandruff. Wild Root Cream Oil is non-alcoholic and contains soothing lanolin, so much like the natural oil of your skin. Yes, friends, next time you buy hair tonic, look for that famous name, Wild Root. Get Wild Root Cream Oil Hair Tonic. Again and again, the choice of men who put good grooming first. And now, with Howard Duff starring as Spade, Wild Root brings to the air the greatest private detective of them all in the adventures of Sam Spade.
In here, Sam, in your private office.
Yeah, private, she says. I'd like to know what's private about it.
I have everything ready for you, Sam.
What's this?
Ovaltine, to relax.
I don't want to relax. I don't dare.
Oh, there you go again, Sam. Going on nerves. How long do you think you can keep it off?
With your help, I'll be in a coma inside 3 minutes.
Thank you, Sam. Now, you just lie down here on the couch, and I'll take your shoes off.
Now, look,
And I can take dictation while you relax.
Nuts. Where's that black coffee?
Sam, you're angry with me. Your eyes. Please don't glare at me like that, Sam. I can't bear it when you...
I am not glaring. I'm trying to keep them open. Now, sit down. I got to keep moving around.
Oh,
moving around.
Drive yourself like this, Sam.
Please, Effie, please. Date, fill it in.
It's your life. Go on. Burn yourself at both ends.
Let's see. A.J. Tatspaw, claims manager, All Risk Insurance Company, Tide Building, San Francisco. From Samuel Spade, license number 137596. Dear Sir, the following is an accounting of my services to your company in connection with a claim of Emma R. Lazarus on the life of the assured Timothy R. Lazarus. The latter called at my office yesterday at approximately 11:30 a.m. He was Tall, bald, gray-faced, and dusty. He looked as if he'd been buried and dug up several times.
This may sound like a poor sort of jest, Mr. Spade, but my name is Lazarus, and I want you to bring me back from the dead.
Well, sounds interesting. Why did you die? When did you die? And how did you die?
I was declared dead by the appellate court of the state of California August 28th last year by reason of 7 years' absence.
Who took it to court?
My wife, Emma.
Insurance?
Yes. My wife and I agreed between ourselves to insure my life in the amount of $100,000 that she would collect on legal presumption of death after my disappearance and continued absence for 7 years. That's the law, Mr. Spade.
Yeah, it's been tried a lot of times. What went wrong in your case? Wife double-cross you?
If that's your attitude, I'm afraid I've come to the wrong man.
Uh-huh. You're still in love with her. Well, that makes it tough. You know they'll nail her for perjury if you prove you're still alive?
That's why I didn't go to the police. Even though we'd planned the deception together, she had reason to believe that I was actually dead.
Suppose you cover the whole thing from the beginning, Mr. Lazarus.
Yes. I married her back in 1940. And for a while we were happy. And then she became restless.
You mean you were not able to support her in the manner to which she was accustomed? She was young, lovely, you wanted her to have nice things, but on your meager salary, it was impossible.
Oh, I know, it's an old story, but life is like that.
Well, you said it.
Yeah, well, there you are. I was assistant cashier at the Golden Gate Bank.
Oh, no, not that.
I started taking small sums at first, meaning to repay them later on.
Let's not go through the whole script. How much did you embezzle?
$20,000.
Yeah, so you decided to take it on the lam before the auditors came in, and...
I was going to give myself up, but Emma wouldn't let me. We made our plans that night, and I left for Mexico the following day. In Mexico City, I had plastic surgery done on my face, and then I settled down to wait the 7 long years until I would be declared legally dead. I suppose you might call it poetic justice, but just before the end of the 7th year, I contracted malaria. I was confined to a hospital for more than 11 months.
You have had it.
Oh, the doctors gave me up for dead and asked me to notify my next of kin. I gave them Emma's address. I never notified her to the contrary because it seemed to fit in so well with our plan.
Too well, huh?
Yes. I'd been to see her, and she refuses to believe that I am her husband. Oh, of course, my appearance is very much altered, but there must be some way to prove my identity.
You worked in a bank. They must have taken your fingerprints.
I removed them from the files and destroyed them.
How are your teeth?
My teeth?
Teeth. Who was your dentist here in town?
Dr. Smith, the great professional building.
He'll still have your dental x-rays on file. They're as good as fingerprints. You go there this afternoon. Don't give your name. Tell them you're Mark Humboldt. Have a new set of x-rays taken, and I'll do the rest. What's your wife doing these days?
Emma's married again.
Who's the sucker?
Pardon me?
The man.
Oh, he's a doctor. Dr. Ernst Wilhelm.
Wilhelm?
He's quite well known, I believe.
Yeah, and the cops would like to know more. Now, about my fee.
Mr. Spade, I have no money.
Oh, that's great. You have no money, and all you want is to hire a man to bring you back from the dead. And the more I succeed, the less chance I'll have of collecting.
If I might make a suggestion, Mr. Spade, I don't know the ethics, but perhaps the insurance company? You would be doing them a great service.
I think you're going to live, Mr. Lazarus. They can't keep a good man down. I'll collect from them. I knew there wasn't a chance in 100,000 of shaking a fee out of your company. After all, you have your own investigators in the payroll, and contract work isn't deductible under the new tax law, but something about Lazarus had gotten to me. Something else about him got to me at the Blue Bottle Bar and Grill, where I stopped for lunch.
Mr. Spade?
Yes, indeedy.
I'm Emma Wilhelm, Mr. Spade.
Emma Lazarus Wilhelm?
I see you do know who I am. May I sit down?
Slide in, Mrs. Wilhelm.
Thank you. I'm glad to know you have a sense of humor, Mr. Spade. It's about that man, of course. Surely you didn't believe a word of his story.
Which word?
Oh, I'll admit there are slight traces of the truth in his raving. My first husband, Timothy Lazarus, was an embezzler. He did disappear, and it's quite true that I have collected the insurance on his life. I might even believe that Tim is still alive. But that man is not he.
Then what are you so upset about?
Oh, it's perfectly obvious what he wants. He's an extortionist.
You're wrong. He doesn't want money, Mrs. Wilhelm. He wants you.
Oh, Mr. Spade, how much do you know about My husband.
Which one?
Don't be flippant.
Dr. Ernest Wilhelm? He made his first million panning lead nuggets out of gang war casualties and lost it on the stock market. He cut his second million out of Nob Hill and called it surgery. He lost that on horses, blondes, and malpractice suits. The last time he was mentioned in the paper, there was a big picture of him pumping sleeping pills out of the stomach of an aging burlesque queen. It may or may not have been coincidence that she did not recover and that she was the ex-girlfriend of one of our better-known racetrack haberdashers, and if he got $100 for the job, he was paid off in blue.
Please don't say any more. That poor girl. And she'll do the same thing to me.
Well,
if you persist in helping that imposter, you'll be responsible for whatever happens to me or anyone else you involve.
mm-hmm. Anything else I should know?
Yes. Both you and your client are being watched and followed. You can't escape him. He's not quite the has-been you'd like to think he is.
After she had gone, I scraped the tears off my butter, finished my lunch, washed my hands with a nationally advertised soap, and mushed over to the Drake Professional Building. I found my client's dentist in his lab polishing up a set of gold inlays.
Humboldt? Oh, yes. His x-rays have come through. Only set today. They're on the clamp there. Don't touch them. They're not dry yet.
Oh, I'm sorry.
What's your interest? Police identification?
You guessed it.
Always happy to cooperate.
Thanks. How about digging in your files for the x-rays on a patient named Lazarus?
Oh, yes, the graduate, of course. Well, let's see now. Larrabee, Lavelle, Lawrence, Lawson, Gluskin. That's a G. What's that doing here? Ah, Lazarus. Timothy R. Is that your man?
That's the name.
Oh, dear me, April 1940. Should have been in for dental hygiene. Have to remind Miss Baker. That's my nurse.
These pictures, how do they compare with this new set?
Well, let's have a look. Switch on the light there, will you please? Let's see. Malocclusion, that's been impacted third molar. Ah, erosion inlay. Yes, it's very interesting.
You mean they're the same in both sets of pictures?
Oh, dear, no.
A man's mouth could change a lot in 7 years, couldn't it?
Well, especially with dental neglect, but that would never cause a man to grow new teeth.
Oh, well.
You see here, Humboldt has one more lower incisor and two more molars than Lazarus. And the whole character of the mouth is different. Now, these two men would not look even faintly alike.
Well, could there have been some mistake in filing?
Oh, dear, no. Miss Baker's been with me for 10 years. Never made a mistake yet.
Mm-hmm. Could I talk to her?
Not in today. Been out since Tuesday. Cold. Oh, say, by the way, you're a detective. How's this for a mystery? She phoned me this morning and thanked me for sending a doctor around to examine her. Now, this is the peculiar part. I have no recollection of having done so, and I'm not acquainted with the doctor she said I sent her.
That wouldn't be a Dr. Ernst Wilhelm.
Why, yes. Wilhelm. That was the name.
Do her another favor, will you? Call a doctor you do know and tell him to get over there as fast as he can. Come on, open up.
Get your shirt on. I will come in as fast as I can. What you want, kiddo?
Which is Miss Baker's room?
She's sick. Ain't having no golly.
I'm her doctor.
Oh, you can't fool me. Where's your little black bag?
If I had one, it would be around your neck. Now, march. Show me the way.
You can't force me. I know my rights.
Oh, you do you? Well, it might interest you know that your vents are faulty, your wiring is illegal, your drains are unsanitary, and your apron is dirty.
Them's rust stains. I'm needing repairs.
You're as neat as a mud pie. Now, get going before I have the Board of Health down on you.
All right, but you can't make me climb them stairs.
Come on.
Got sciatica I have. Here's the key.
Okay.
First door to the right. Whatever the key's got, I hope you catch it.
Thank you, Elsa Maxwell. She was stretched out on the bed, her left arm twisted under her and her right dangling over the edge. On the floor beneath it was an empty pill bottle. A few red capsules were scattered near it, and some more were spilled out among the bedclothes. It was a standard sleeping pill suicide scene, but I didn't believe it. The body was still warm, but no pulse. I didn't waste time giving her the mirror test. Instead, I looked around for a phone. It was on a table near a window. I meant to dial the police number, Sutter 12020, but SU was as far as I got. Felt like a bee sting or a quick jab with a needle. I spun around and swung out blindly. The face that I missed was suntanned under a shock of iron gray hair. He was wearing the same white-toothed grin that Dr. Ernst Wilhelm always wore for newspaper photographers. I started towards him, and he backed away, still grinning.
Come ahead, Spade. Come and get me, but hurry. You have only 20 seconds more. Shall I count them off? So far, you have 3, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9.
The floor kept dropping a foot at a time as I walked toward him. But every time I got to the bottom of the incline, it tilted up the other way, and I slipped back. He kept dropping out of sight, and every time I got him back into my line of vision, he was farther away. The walls of the room opened out and disappeared into some clouds. The ceiling spun around faster and faster until it whirled away like one of those flying discs. Then the floor turned into gelatin, and I sank into it.
The makers of Wild Root Cream Oil are presenting the weekly Sunday adventure of Dashiell Hammett's famous private detective, Sam Spade. Now, here's important news on good grooming. If you want the well-groomed look that helps you get ahead, socially and on the job, listen. Recently, thousands of people from coast to coast who bought Wild Root Cream Oil for the first time were asked, how does Wild Root Cream Oil compare with the hair tonic you previously used? The results were amazing. Better than 4 out of 5 who replied said they preferred Wild Root Cream Oil. Remember, non-alcoholic Wild Root Cream Oil contains lanolin. It grooms the hair naturally, relieves dryness, and removes loose, ugly dandruff. So if you want your hair to be more attractive than ever before, get the generous new 25-cent size of Wild Root Cream Oil, America's leading hair tonic, on sale at all drug and toilet goods counters. It's also available in larger economy bottles and the handy new tube. Get Wild Root Cream Oil. Again and again, the choice of men who put good grooming first. By the way, smart girls use Wild Root Cream Oil, too. And mothers say it's grand for training children's hair. And now, back to the Lazarus Caper. Tonight's adventure with Sam Spade.
The dream lasted about 300 years. Around Christmas time in the year 2247, another bee stung me. I opened my eyes, but the lights on the tree were too bright, and Santa Claus was bending over me with a brandy breath.
Come on, man. Come on. A little willpower. You're conscious. That's it. Sensation returning. Here, try and sit up.
There's a girl. How about her?
Too late. Did everything I could. Suicide pact?
Well, one of your brothers in Apollo was a little too handy with a needle. Here's the mark on my arm, and you'll find one on that stiff. Those sleeping capsules were a plant to make it look like suicide.
You'll be feeling better soon. Now, come along. Up on your feet. Must keep moving. Restore circulation.
Yeah.
Hip.
There. Thanks. You the man Dr. Smith called?
Yes. So you're a private detective. How do you feel now?
I'm still dopey. You give me something to pick me up?
I've given you as much stimulant as it's safe to administer. For the rest, you'll have to sleep it off. And you will. I advise you to hurry home. Get into bed before this wears off.
How long have I got?
A couple of hours if you keep moving, maybe 3.
Yeah.
But if I were you, I wouldn't stay out. Don't want to fall asleep in the middle of Market Street, get run over by a bus.
Worst things can happen to you in your own bed. Look at her.
Murder? Think you can prove it?
I don't know.
I couldn't. Not on her. And I've been an autopsy surgeon for 20 years.
Well, cheer up, Doctor. If you miss on her, you may get a second chance.
Huh?
Yeah, me.
Those eyes are looking better. I think you'll live.
I wasn't so sure. Unless I could nail Wilhelm before my 3 hours is up, it's a safe bet he'd nail me again with that needle. He had done me one favor. He'd convinced me that my client was really the man he claimed to be and that Wilhelm and Emma knew it. My best hope of smoking him out was to dig out some solid proof. I spent 10 minutes of my 3 hours getting to the Hall of Records and 10 more finding out there was nothing there on Lazarus but his death certificate. I had a gander at the wanted file at police headquarters. They'd checked him out in August of 47 when the court had pronounced him dead. I looked at my watch. With 2 hours and 17 minutes of wakefulness left, I just didn't have time. I stopped by Lazarus' hotel, got a set of his fingerprints and several samples of his signature, took them to a penman I know down on the mission, and between us we forged the most amazing set of documents ever assembled on one man. All dated, notarized, certified, witnessed, registered. One even bore the great seal of the state of California and the signature of the governor. I squeezed them all into a large briefcase, propped my eyes open with toothpicks while I drank half a gallon of black coffee, then phoned Dr. Wilhelm's night number. I told him I was one of Russian Leo's boys, and a cop had just winged me on the lam from a jewelry store job. He agreed to meet me at his office. Hello, Wilhelm.
Yes?
Is that all you got to say to the guy you knocked off an hour ago?
I'm afraid I don't quite follow. Who are you?
Look, I know that you know, and you know that I know. We even wrote a song about it, so let's get off the dime and don't reach for a needle. This gun is bigger and it shoots farther.
Well, I can see you mean business. What do you want?
First, I want to show you a few things. Here, take a look.
Mm-hmm. Well, this is very impressive.
Yeah, I thought you'd be impressed. You, need any more proof that Lazarus is Lazarus?
What's the matter, Spade? Getting sleepy?
Don't get your hopes up. I can squeeze this trigger in my sleep.
Mm-hmm. Are these papers for sale?
Why do you think I brought them to you?
What's the price?
Half the take on Lazarus' insurance.
That's very high.
I haven't finished. This time, Lazarus has got to be really dead, and you're going to do the job. Come on, stop stalling.
I can't do that.
Why not?
Why, Emma, she'll make trouble. She said she would.
She's still in love with him?
Why do you say that?
I just wondered. What reason did she give you for not wanting him knocked off?
Well, the cops work harder at identifying a dead man than they do a live derelict that looks and talks like a crank. I had the same idea myself.
Then you're stupid. With him dead, she can tell any story she wants to. With him alive and all this proof of identity, he's in a position to nail both of you for fraud, conspiracy, perjury. Shall I go on?
One thing. Does Emma know about these papers?
Sure.
You're lying.
Sure, I'm lying. And those documents are forgeries if that's the way you want it. I haven't got time to argue. I can't stay awake much longer, and you can't bring it off without me. I'll have Lazarus at my apartment in 30 minutes. Bring your needle and the $50,000.
All right, Spade. I'll be there.
I made 2 phone calls on my way to pick up Lazarus, one to Emma and one to Lieutenant Erlinger of homicide. Dundee was asleep. The lieutenant and Sergeant Fullhouse were perched on the fire escape outside my window, and Emma was waiting in the living room when we got there.
Jim. Oh, my poor darling.
Emma, you recognize me.
Of course, darling, from the beginning. But I didn't dare speak out in front of Ernst.
I know. Mr. Spade told me.
Now, listen to me, you two. You're sure you can go through with this?
Oh, are you sure there's no danger?
That's him now. Come on, Lazarus, get in the bedroom there. Now, do what I told you.
Don't worry, Emma.
Oh, I'm so frightened.
Quiet.
Hello, Spade. I got here just at... Emma, what are you doing here?
Mr. Spade phoned me. I agreed. It's the only thing to do. I wanted you to know that.
Well, I'm glad to see that you've come to your senses for a while there. You see, you were wrong, Spade.
Did you bring the stuff?
Here's your money. I have a hypodermic in the case here. It's already loaded. We won't need a sterile needle. Where is he?
In there on the bed. He was asleep a minute ago. The grogginess that had kept coming back over me in waves for the last 2 hours swirled over me again as Wilhelm leaned over the bed where Lazarus lay, stretched out with his eyes closed. For a split second, I blanked out, and I was afraid it had already happened. But then I saw Wilhelm's hand coming down in an oblique angle toward Lazarus's forearm. Then my vision blurred again, and my arms felt too heavy to lift. It was Emma's scream that jolted me back. I clawed out blindly.
Stop it! Let go of it! You get it in your own arm. Let go! Swine, you double-crossing...
Now, here's a little sleeping medicine for you. Okay, boys. Come and get him.
Sam. Good boy. We won't forget this.
Yeah, a likely story.
Get that broken glass, Bullhouse. Put it in the Dixie cup. Now, handle it careful. Want to analyze that medicine.
You okay?
Who are these people, Sam? Accomplices?
Yeah, but not the homicide.
What about him? They won't let him go free, will they?
Don't worry. He's out of circulation for good.
Mr. Spade.
Yeah, Lazarus.
I don't know how to thank you.
Yes. You don't know what this means to us.
Yes, I do. It probably means another long separation. The state prisons aren't co-ed. But if you insist on being alive, you have to take life as it comes. Period. End the bedtime story.
Oh, Sam, it's so sad. That poor couple, so much in love. But you had to do your duty, didn't you, Sam? They had to pay their debt to society, of course. That's why you had to be so hard and unrelenting and not give in to your better nature.
Oh, that's right. That's right. Never give in to the ship. Don't tread on me. There was Hobson's... what was it that Hobson... you may fire when ready?
You know best, Sam. I'll just go tighten this up.
And now, listen to this. A good friend of the family. That's Wild Root Cream Oil Hair Tonic, folks. Wild Root Cream Oil grooms the hair neatly and naturally, relieves dryness, and removes loose dandruff. Now, get Wild Root Cream Oil at your drug or toilet goods counter in a new 25-cent Get Acquainted bottle. Also, ask your barber for a professional application of Wild Root Cream Oil Hair Tonic. Again and again, the choice of men who put good grooming first.
Sam, wake up.
Well, there, go away. Your apron's dirty.
Sam, I'm not wearing an apron.
Then why don't you let me sleep?
Sam, you've got to wake up. Your coffee's here.
And tell them I'm in conference.
No, Sam, no. The black coffee. You said to order 3 gallons.
What?
I couldn't carry it all. I'll make another trip. 24 cardboard containers. You'll have to drink it up fast now. They're leaking already.
Abandon ship, all ye who enter here.
Oh, Sam, what am I going to do with it?
Open the restaurant. Good night.
Oh, good night, Sam.
Number 3 turrets, open fire.
The Adventures of Sam Spade, Dashiell Hammett's famous private detective, are produced and directed by William Spear. Sam Spade is played by Howard Duff. Lorene Tuttle is Effie. The Adventures of Sam Spade are written for radio by Bob Tallman and Gil Dowd. Musical direction by Lud Gluskin, with score composed by Renee Garrigang. Join us again next Sunday when author Dashiell Hammett and producer William Spear join forces for another adventure with Sam Spade. Brought to you by Wild Root Cream Oil. Again and again, the choice of men who put good grooming first. This is Dick Joy reminding you to...
Get Wild Root Cream Oil, Charlie. It keeps your hair trim. You see, it's non-alcoholic, Charlie. It's made with soothing lanolin. You better get Wild Root Cream Oil, Charlie. Start using it today. You'll find that you will have a tough time, Charlie. Keep on all the gals away. Hiya, Baldy. Get Wild Root right away.
This is CBS, the Columbia Broadcasting System.
Under a Picture of the Magdalene by Carolyn Atwater Mason, read for LibriVox.org by Larry Wilson. Be merciful. How dost thou know but thou thyself mightest fall as low, but for some happy trick of chance, or helpful freak of circumstance, some lucky accident of race, or birth, or blood, or dwelling place? Be merciful. God's even scales decide where human judgment fails. Who seem most lost some day may lie nearer God's heart than you or I. We cannot tell, we do not know. Be merciful. The Christ was so. End of poem. This recording is in the public domain.
The Mutual Broadcasting System, in cooperation with Family Theater Incorporated, presents The Man Who Died Twice, starring John Sutton and Patricia Morrison. Oddie McDowell is your host.
More things are wrought by prayer than this world dreams of. You know, we sometimes meet people who say, there can't be an all-wise and good God because there's too much evil in the world. And they deny the existence of God because of all the evil they see. And yet, most of us know that the wrong we do comes into our lives when we put God out, when we don't pray. And the evils of the world exist because so often we try to run things without God, because we forget the language of prayer. You don't find people giving themselves sincerely and earnestly to God in prayer, and at the same time spending their lives doing harm to others. These things don't go together. And in a home where family prayer is part of family life, you don't find juvenile delinquents or parental delinquents, or all the other home crimes that make newspaper headlines. Crime and prayer just don't go together. And when there's prayer in a home, and when a home is run with God's help and God's guidance, when family prayer is a daily part of family life, there's no doubt about the existence of God. It's seen every day in the goodness and the happiness in that home.
Roddy McDowell will speak following tonight's Family Theater story, The Man Who Died Twice, starring John Sutton and Patricia Morrison.
Good evening, Mr. Grant.
Good evening, George.
Your coat, sir?
Oh, yes, thank you. Is Mrs. Grant at home?
Oh, it's you, Stephen. Didn't expect you home so early.
Well, you see, Oh, you're going somewhere, Claire?
Yes, Bill Carter and the gang are giving a little get-together at the Parisian.
Oh, I see.
They asked if you wanted to come.
Oh, well,
But I knew you wouldn't be interested.
Oh.
Well, it's 8 o'clock. I'd better go.
Yes, you better run along, dear, and have a good time.
I know you'll be busy.
As a matter of fact, Phil gave me a couple of scripts that I'm reading.
Oh, that's fine, dear. I do think you should be getting another picture soon.
Well, I'm not sure that either of the parts is quite right for me, but you know how it is.
Darling, do try to make a selection. Remember, 20 million women swoon when Stephen Grant appears on the screen.
I wish you'd forget those publicity releases. Now, look, Claire.
Stephen, if the Carters call, will you tell them I'm on my way?
Yes, I'll tell them. Good night, Claire.
Good night, Stephen.
Well, George?
The usual, Mr. Grant?
With 2 cubes, George.
Oh, pardon me, sir. Mr. Grant's residence? Oh, yes, Mr. Martin. Just a moment,
If that's Phil Martin, I want to talk to him.
Yes, sir.
Hello, Phil. How's Hollywood's #1 agent?
Fine, champ, fine.
Well, I'm glad you called, Phil. I've skimmed through those 2 scripts you gave me. I was thinking about that part in The Scarlet Scarf. I might be able to do a great deal.
Look, champ, that's what I wanted to talk to you about. That part was set this afternoon. Ted Charlotte's going to do it.
Ted Charlotte? Why, he's no more right for that part
Look,
than
champ, you know the geniuses of Metropolitan. Once they get an idea on casting...
Well, surely you're not going to try to sell me on that other script. It's the most inane thing I've ever read.
Champ, I'm not trying to sell you on it. That deal was locked up, too, just an hour ago.
Then what's the idea of giving me scripts that have already been cast? Look, Phil, I'm a busy man.
Take it easy, champ. Now, here's the pitch. I ran into something over at Capitol. I think you'd be mighty interested in it.
Oh. What kind of story is it?
It's going to be one of the biggest things of the season. Take my word for it, champ.
Oh, it's good, eh? All right, send it over. I'll read it the first chance I get.
Okay, but I wanted to give you a line on this part. How it may not look too big, but the whole picture hinges on it.
Well, if it's a lead, it can certainly be padded out.
Well, that's what I was getting at, champ. It's not exactly the lead.
Not the lead? Oh, say, what are you trying to do?
Listen, champ, let's put it this way. It's been a year since your last picture. I've been knocking my brains out for you, and this is all I could come up with.
Oh, that's all you've got to say.
No,
You can...
I've got one thing more, champ. Maybe it's hard to take, but it looks like you're going to have to start doing second leads for a while.
Yeah? Well, to me, it looks like I need a new agent.
What you need's a good night's sleep, champ. Talk to you in the morning. Good night.
Hello, champ. I've been waiting out here. I wanted to talk to you before we saw Masterson.
Phil, I wouldn't have considered this appointment at all if it weren't for any other producer. But, Matty, we've done some good things together.
I'm glad you thought it over, champ. I know you're going to like the part.
Why, Matty and I worked together on Stars of Love, my first award. You remember that, Phil?
Yeah.
Crandall did the screenplay. Now, if we could get Crandall for special dialogue in this one,
look,
it would...
champ, let me do most of the talking, will you? I think we'll be able to swing a good deal. Well, here we are.
I heard that Crandall's on the coast now.
Hello, Polly. Just as beautiful as ever, aren't you? Still want to marry me? Don't answer that. Matty's waiting for us, Polly. Look around in. Well, here we are, Matty. And don't forget now, treat my client here with a little respect.
Hello, Steve.
Hello, Matty, and long time.
Sounds, Steve. I suppose Phil told you about the script.
Not too much.
I told him this was going to be a great picture, Matty. I don't see how you can miss. Nothing's been done like it since Ben-Hur.
I marked your part, Steve. Here, take a look at it.
Yeah. That's a good title. It's a period piece, huh?
Well, you might call it that.
Say, wait a minute. This is the story
Matty's going to do it in color, champ. Cast of thousands, real production.
Phil, you didn't tell me what kind of story this was.
Well, I wanted you to see for yourself, champ. I knew you'd go for it as soon as you caught the angle.
Well, that's where you're wrong, Phil. I'm not going for it.
What?
I've been a leading man for 7 years, a romantic lead, remember. Now you expect me to take a part like this? You must be out of your mind.
Steve, I don't think you quite understand what this
I understand, all right. Wouldn't Stephen Grant look magnificent in a costume of muslin cloth? With a beard yet? Why, I'd be laughed off the screen.
Look, champ, I think that you should...
Thanks for the call, Matty. This just isn't for me.
Well, I guess you're right, Steve. It's not the kind of character you'd understand.
Why, I understand every character I do.
But not this one.
Now, look, Matty.
I'll send you a couple of tickets to the preview. So long, Steve.
Oh, Mr. Grant, I didn't know you were home.
Hello, George.
Is there something I can get for you, sir?
No, not tonight, thanks. I've been looking through these books. George, do we have a New Testament around the house?
A testament, dear?
Oh, hello, Claire. It's not important at all. Claire, what are you doing this evening? Do you have any plans?
Well, they're opening a new club on the Strip, and Bill Carter says it's simply...
Look, why don't you call Bill Carter and tell him you can't make it? Claire, we could have dinner here, just the two of us. We don't see much of each other.
Stephen, you didn't get the part.
Well, what's that got to do with it? Is it some sort of a crime for a man to ask his wife to stay home one night in a month? Every single night, I'm coming in and you're going out. It's just like a bus terminal. Claire, I don't like the way you're chasing around.
Stephen, dear, you're morose. You don't want me here. You just want someone to argue with. Oh, I understand you exactly.
So, you understand me. Matty understands the story. I suppose I'm the only man on God's green earth that's incapable of understanding anything. Now, listen to me, Claire. This merry-go-round's got to stop, and
Stephen, now I know what it is. You saw the bill from the jewelers. You really ought to pay it, dear. It's the second notice.
Send them a check. What I'm talking
But,
about
darling, people should have money in the bank before they write checks.
You mean to say your allowance, all of it's gone?
Since last month, I thought you knew.
How am I to know? I never question you. Anything you want, you can have. Anything to keep you happy.
Oh, so I'm happy. And our home, I suppose, that's happy, too. You sit around the house all these months brooding, feeling sorry for yourself. I know about those parts you've been offered, Stephen. Something always seems to be wrong. It couldn't be that you're slipping, could it?
Thank you, Claire. You're just the one I wanted to hear that from. Hello, Phil. Look, Phil, I guess I kind of blew up in Matty's office today. I'd like you to tell him I've reconsidered the part. I think it might work. With a few changes, of course.
Save the lights! Quiet over there! This is a take. Quiet! Ready when you are, Mr. Masterson?
Now, Steve, the idea here is that you're a disbeliever. Your sisters tried to convince you, but to no avail. You're not quite sure of your argument, yet you've got to justify your position. All right. Shall we try it?
Ready with the lights. First take. Shooting 1793, take one. Quiet, please!
Camera. Action. Music.
You look on me as a disbeliever. What proofs do you bring forth for me to understand? Only this. You say he goes about the countryside, doing good. His only wish to help and heal the sick. And yet I say all this is only rumor. Now let me ask, what wonders have you seen by this man's hand? Do you make me the man who walketh in the night because... Oh, I'm sorry, Matty.
Cut!
I can't get that line, Matty.
It's the man who walketh in the night because the light is not in him. We'll try it again.
Okay, mark that. An hour for lunch, back on the set at 1, and that means 1 o'clock sharp.
How'd it go this morning, champ? Saw the last scene. Thought it looked pretty good.
No, that was the 12th take, Phil. I still don't think it's right.
Oh, quit worrying, will you? You'll get the hang of it, champ. You always do. I almost forgot. Got a message for you, here.
It's from Claire. Where do you see her?
Outside the commissary. Say, you want to go off the lot for lunch?
Huh?
I said you want to grab a bite over at the Elm House?
She's waiting for me. You go on, Phil. Perhaps I'll join you later.
Yeah, but champ...
Hello, Stephen.
Claire, your note said it was important. Would you like some coffee?
No, thanks. I'm going away, Stephen. I'm going to New York.
York? What's the idea?
I think it's a sensible thing to do. I think we'll be happier apart for a while anyway.
Claire, if it's about last night, if you came here to make a scene...
There isn't going to be any scene, Stephen. It's plain and simple. I'm leaving you.
Now, look there. I've got work to do. It's true that we haven't been getting along too well, but I put up with every one of your whims, and I won't have you running off to New York. Why, the gossip columns would eat it up, and I'm in no position for that kind of publicity.
There'll be no publicity, Stephen. I'll see to it that everything's done quietly without any fuss.
Regardless, I tell you I won't have it.
I'm afraid you're making the scene.
Listen, Claire, what is this anyway? What are you trying to prove? We've had arguments before.
Last night was once too often. Oh, let's be honest, Stephen.
Oh, you want to be honest. Well, let's be very honest.
All right. Marriage isn't a part in a movie, Stephen. You enter into it for better or worse.
Oh, so this is the worst. Is that what you're trying to say?
You didn't expect a happy ending, did you? We haven't been playing it for that kind of tag.
Could be, Claire.
No, Stephen. You played it for yourself. Well, I really must be going. The super chief leaves in an hour. Good luck on the picture.
Listen, Claire...
Goodbye, Stephen.
So he speaks of a man who had two debtors. The one owed him 500 pence, the other 50. And whereas they had not wherewith to pay, he forgave them both. Which therefore of the two loved him the more? Which? Which? No. Matty, I tell you, this isn't right. How do you expect an actor to read lines like this?
Cut!
It's archaic. There's no life in these lines.
Some pretty fair writers wrote the New Testament, Stephen.
All right. Maybe it reads fine in a book. But how in heaven's name do you expect an actor to make it believable? This isn't Shakespeare. It isn't even prose. Matty, there's going to be a rewrite.
You'll read that script as written, Stephen, or you won't read it at all.
You said that, Matty. I didn't. Send my 2 weeks to Phil's office. I'm through.
Hey, champ, well, wait a minute.
Shut up, Phil.
You can't walk off the set. You'll get blacklisted in every studio in town. Champ, look, Matty's played good pool with you.
I'm through, you understand? I quit. I'm finished.
You can say that again. You're good and finished. That's all for tonight. On the set at 9 for you folks. Good night.
Champ, you're a fool. You're worse than that. You're a well-cured piece of ham that nobody's going to touch with a 10-foot pole.
Phil, agents, don't talk to me that way. You can cancel our contract here and now. Get yourself another meal ticket.
I'll cancel that contract, all right, Stephen. And you might save it for cutting out Cupid dolls. It'll give you something to do.
And here's the final movie roundup. Your Screenland reporter hears tonight that Stephen Grant, in a fit of good old-fashioned Hollywood temperament, walked off the set during production of J.D. Masterson's latest epic. Rumor has it that Mr. Grant may well have walked his way into oblivion. Grant's longtime glamour boy and...
Longtime glamour boy.
All right, pull over.
City built those stop signs for you to read. Maybe you don't like the way they're printed.
Look, if I've gone through a light, give me a ticket and let's get it over with.
You went through 3 of them. You been drinking, buddy?
No, I haven't been drinking.
Say, wait a minute. You're Stephen Grant, ain't you?
Yes, I'm Stephen Grant.
Well, running lights is pretty dangerous business, Mr. Grant.
All right, so nothing happened. Give me a ticket if you're going to.
You might have killed somebody.
I'm in a hurry. Do you mind?
I wouldn't get tough about it, Mr. Grant. Just trying to explain.
Explanations bore me. Give me the ticket.
I might do better than that. I might pull you in.
Now, see here, a word from me to the commissioner.
I don't think it would do any good, Mr. Grant. The commissioner doesn't like your pictures.
Listen to me.
I see your driver's license.
Here you are.
49 Metcalf Road. Is that the right address?
Yeah.
Is your wife home?
Yes, my wife's... Well, that is, there's someone there. My man, George.
I see. Start up your motor, Mr. Grant. Follow me.
Oh, why, Mr. Grant.
That's all right, George. The officer was just seeing me home.
I'll leave you here, Mr. Grant. I wouldn't drive anymore tonight, or you're apt to be picked up. Good night.
Good night.
Oh, one more thing.
What is it?
I forgot to give you this ticket. You can appear in court or mail a fine. It shouldn't cost more than $50. Good night.
Well, George, it appears that I've been remanded to your custody.
Mrs. Grant hasn't come in as yet, sir.
Yeah, I know. George, I believe we'll be closing up the house shortly. I'm going to take an apartment in Brentwood.
Closing the house, sir?
Yes, Mrs. Grant and I have separated.
I expected that, sir.
You what?
It's been rather, if you'll pardon me, sir, rather obvious for some time.
Yes, I suppose it has. It's funny about these things. It seems the husband and wife are always the last ones to know.
One can be so close to oneself, sir, and yet so far away.
Say, that's a good line, George. I wish I had something like that to read in the picture.
Why, I heard about it on the radio tonight, sir. I'm sorry.
George, tell me something, and tell me honestly. Do you think I'm a has-been?
Well, it depends, sir, on what you're referring to. As an actor, you will always be the finest. But as...
As what, George?
Well, let me put it this way, sir. My father used to say, a man can't be a has-been if he happens to be a never was.
I don't follow you.
Mr. Grant, you asked for something the other night. A book. This book.
Oh, the Testament.
Always before, sir, when you had a difficult part, I remember how you studied, did research if necessary, how you paced the floor at night reading aloud, breaking the part down, putting it together again. making certain you understood every facet, every motivation of the character you were to play. You always understood, Mr. Grant. That was it, sir. Understanding.
But, George, this is something different. I lived those stories. You can't expect me to live the part of Lazarus. I've never been a religious man.
During the time of Lazarus, sir, there were many who disbelieved until the Lord raised him from the dead.
To try and believe. Could that be the answer?
The only answer, sir.
An understanding. Will I ever be able to understand?
I think you're already begun to understand, sir.
We'll use a double camera on the crowd scene. Get everything set up.
Yes, Mr. Masterson.
And get Thompson on the set. He's playing Lazarus. Give him a quick rundown on the part. Tell him about the crucifixion scene.
Matty.
And Stephen, what are you doing here?
Matty, I want to talk to you.
We're getting ready for rehearsal, Stephen. I don't have much time. Try me at the office next week.
It's about the part, Matty. I want you to give me another chance.
We've already called Thompson.
Matty, Thompson's on the way up. He'll get thousands of jobs. He doesn't need this.
Oh, well, if you're broke, Stephen, I can let you have it.
No, it isn't that. I know this part, Matty. I believe in it and I can live it.
Stephen, I'd like to, but
Matty,
I just...
Matty, I've got a hunch this might be my last chance.
Oh, you're not really blacklisted, Steve. You can still get plenty of work.
That isn't what I mean.
Oh, I see. All right, Stephen. We'll talk it over. Wait in my office. Now, Steve, in this scene, you've been brought before the officials to explain what has happened. You know they seek a reason to condemn you, even possibly put you to death. Now, you want to explain simply and honestly, yet you're afraid of the opposition you find around you. All right?
Yes, I went over it very carefully last night.
Okay. Everyone ready? Let's go. We'll do only one rehearsal. We want to pick up some time today. Roll 'em. Music!
First let him speak. Only this I know, that Mary Magdalene, my sister, first met him. And to her who was called a sinner, he said, "Many sins are forgiven you. Because you have loved much, then believing him, she became his disciple."
You say you live in Bethany?
Yes.
And you were in the grave 4 days? Impossible.
Ask any one of those who saw these things and now believe.
But you were always of this group who called this man the Son of God?
Nay, I too once sought to justify my disbelief by petty argument. But now I know that only one who comes from God could raise the dead to life. From these things he has taught I came to understand that the greatest commandment is to love God with thy whole heart and thy whole mind and thy whole soul. For it profits not a man if he gain the whole world and suffer the loss of his soul. And the second commandment is like to this, to love thy neighbor. Then why have you so hated him that you now try to twist and turn the truth of all the things he has said and done?
Okay, that's fine. We'll put a camera on it.
We're here in the forecourt of Hollywood's premier theater. You've heard the stars. We brought them to our microphone before curtain time, and now we're waiting for the conclusion of the performance. You know, critics have acclaimed this picture as one of the finest of the year. Moreover, it brings back to the screen Stephen Grant in a new role that most certainly be given top consideration when the awards are passed out. That applause you're hearing in the background means that the picture must be over, and we'll be bringing more celebrities to the microphone. Wait a minute, folks. Hold on. I believe I see Mr. Stephen. Oh, Mr. Grant. Mr. Grant, will you come over here, please? Mr. Grant, you seem to have slipped by us on the way in. I wonder if you'll say a few words to our radio audience. Tell us, Mr. Grant, this has been a radical departure from your other roles. Did you enjoy doing this picture?
Yes, I did. I can truthfully say it's been the most unusual experience in my life. I'd like to extend my thanks to everyone connected with the production. To J.D. Masterson, the producer, to my manager, Phil Martin. And thanks most of all to a wonderful old man who gave me the most important thing, understanding. And, George, if you're listening, thank you again.
We appreciate your being here, Mr. Grant. And now, ladies and gentlemen, I want you to meet the...
Well, champ, looks like we're in.
Yeah.
Main events from now on. Look at these telegrams. You've got more offers than... What's the matter, champ?
You wait here, Phil. There's a phone booth over there. I got a call to make. I'd like to get New York City, please. Larchmont 29401. It's a person-to-person call. Yeah, Mrs. Stephen Grant. Yeah, this is her husband. I'll wait. Hello? Yeah? Yeah, I'm still waiting. What's that? She's no longer at this number. Well, will you ask whoever answered the phone how I can get in touch with her? It's very important that...
Just turn around, darling.
Why, Claire.
Hello, Stephen. Well, hadn't you better hang up the phone?
Claire, I wanted to write you. I wanted to call you. It's not like it was before. Things have changed. Why, I've changed.
I know, darling. Phil wrote me every week while you were in the picture.
Claire, a fellow goes along all his life on a fence. He doesn't know which way to fall, and there's resentment and bitterness and all the petty things you get stored up inside. And you can't get rid of them because you don't know how. And you can't forgive because you don't know how.
It's the same for a wife, Stephen. You can't love if you don't understand. Remember that line in the picture?
What?
Many sins are forgiven her because she hath loved much.
You know, darling, once I wanted those very lines rewritten. But when you do grow to understand them, you kind of like them just the way they are.
This is Roddy McDowell again. I guess we can all say that most of our difficulties come from a lack of understanding. It's the misunderstandings that begin most of the arguments, quarrels, and unhappiness in a family. Well, for example, like showing our appreciation to others for what they do. I guess it's the same with most young people. We get so busy with all the things we have to do. Well, you just get to take a lot of things for granted. Especially things that are done for you by those who are as close to you as your mother and dad. And you know, sometimes when your family gets together and there's family prayer, well, it's quiet. And you get to thinking and begin to understand how much your parents mean to you and how much their example and encouragement have meant and how their sincere faith in God has helped you to try to lead a good, useful, and God-respecting life. And you promise yourself that you'll live up to the ideals and example they have given you. Yes, most of us have a great deal to be thankful for. Why, we've been born in a generation when, despite all the confusion in the world, our parents are learning again the importance of family prayer and how closely it unites a family. And for our future homes, we've already learned that a family that prays together stays together. Before saying good night, I'd like to thank John Sutton and Patricia Morrison for their performances this evening, and our thanks to Mark Carney and Lou Reed for writing tonight's play, and to Max Tare for his music. This production of the Family Theater Incorporated was directed by David Young. Others who appeared in tonight's play were Pac McGeehan, John Frank, Stu Wilson, Stan Waxman, Tim Graham, and Michael Hayes. Next week, our Family Theater stars will be Kirk Douglas and Diane Douglas in Talent for Living. Your host will be Danny Thomas. This is Roddy McDowell saying good night and God bless you.
This series of the Family Theater broadcasts is made possible by the thousands of you who felt the need for this kind of program and by the Mutual Broadcasting System which has responded to this need. Be with us next week at this same time when our Family Theater stars will be Kirk and Diane Douglas, with Danny Thomas as host. Tony Lafrano speaking. This is the Mutual Broadcasting System.
Hello, this is Father Bob Warren of the Franciscan Friars of the Atonement. Thank you for listening to this rebroadcast of the Ave Maria Hour radio show. The Friars' popular Ave Maria Hour was first brought to the radio airwaves in 1939, recorded in New York City and on the mountainside grounds at Graymoor, a home in Garrison, New York. These timeless classic stories of the Bible and the lives of the saints came to life each week through dramatic reenactment by professional actors and actresses. You know, friends, Christ once said, "Do not hide your treasure under a bushel." In saying this, he meant share your gifts, share your talents. The Friars of the Atonement feel the message in these broadcasts remains as powerful and timely as when they were originally aired, and we are so happy to be able to share them with you today. To learn more about the missions and ministries of the Friars of the Atonement, I invite you to visit our website, www.atonementfriars.org. In the meantime, sit back and enjoy this rebroadcast of the Ave Maria Hour.
Magdalene.
Hypocrite! You're all hypocrites! So my credit isn't good enough for you. Oh, my money is good enough when I've got it. You hypocrite, take your hands off me! And don't worry, I won't be back. I wouldn't buy a grain of salt from you now. Not one grain. Hypocrite. They're all hypocrites. Oh, this town makes me sick.
Mary?
What do you want?
Nothing. Nothing really. Have you been well?
Fine, I'm fine.
Do you need anything?
Yes, I need anything. I need money. I've run out of money. Lend me some.
No, Mary. I will give you food or money for your debts, but no money for wine. That's what you want it for, and you don't drink like other people do, and it isn't good for you.
I knew you'd say no. I don't know why I was stupid enough to ask.
Oh, Mary, come home with me. Rest up for a few days and eat some good food.
Do you think I'd go back to that place? You're crazy. No, Mary. I will give you food, but no money, you naughty child. You might get drunk and do bad things. And worst of all, you'll embarrass me. You pious hypocrite.
Mary, this will get us nowhere.
Oh, you'd like to call me names too, wouldn't you? But you're afraid of being vulgar. Go on, Martha. Call me a tramp. That's what I am. Why are you so afraid of the truth?
You haven't changed, and you never will. Have I ever told you of the shame? The shame of hearing my sister's name become a word on the street? The shame of knowing that Mary Magdalene, my sister, is a prostitute.
Oh, my pious sister.
Oh, I've had all I can stand. There's no more forgiveness in my heart. You've killed any feeling in me for you. To me, you're dead. I mourn my sister who died years ago. I can't help you. I cannot even try anymore.
Hypocrite! Hypocrite! Hypocrite!
Mary. What is the matter with you, girl? Cheer up. Come on, have another drink. You're no good for business if you're sad. Customers get sad, I lose money. Besides, I hate sad faces. I can't stand them.
I hate smug faces, pious faces, hypocritical faces. I say that to live, you have to get a little dirty.
Right.
I look life in the eye, and I say, you're not very pretty, life. You don't give what a person thinks you're going to give, but you can sure be a lot of fun.
Now you're talking, Mary. Have fun and give a little too. Get it?
Here's to lots of fun.
Mary, you know that preacher's in town? Jesus, there's always a crowd around him. There'll be lots of purses just waiting to be parted from their owners. How about it?
Lead the way, friend. Lead the way. Hey, old man. Which one is the Nazarene?
Oh, there. On the other side of the well. And his back to us. He is the Christ.
I hear he works magic.
Magic? Oh. Well, I don't understand.
Hey, Mary, come here. Mary, keep him busy. The one you're talking to. I'll grab his purse and run.
I'm not so sure, Isaac. He's a tired-looking thing. What can he own?
I said keep him busy. Go on, do as I say.
Old man, tell me more about your Nazarene. I'd like to hear about his magic tricks. Is it true that he walks over the water?
Oh, do not mock him, young woman. He is the Messiah, the Son of God. Now, you don't understand, but you must not make light of him. He does not work magic. He has worked miracles. The sick have been healed by touching the hem of his robe because they believe. He has fed 5,000 people with 5 loaves of bread and 2 fishes.
Oh, that must have been a sight.
I ask you again, young woman, do not mock him. Laugh at me all you wish. I'm not important. But he's God. His miracles alone are the proof of that.
We must be very busy.
He is... Here, stop, thief! Stop! That man tried to steal my purse.
Oh, now, don't get all excited. You look as if you can afford it. Maybe the thief has to steal. Who knows?
You know him, don't you?
Well, now, wait. If you're going to make trouble...
No harm's been done. The harm may come to you.
Now, just a minute. Who do you think you're talking to?
Oh, forgive me, but I know the wrong kind of companions can lead to trouble. Deep trouble with the soul. Troubled soul can lead to dark and dangerous paths. If you just listen to the voice of Jesus, let him reach you.
What are you, anyway?
Well, at the moment, I feel I'm only a meddlesome old man. My excuse is that, quite without meaning to, I sometimes talk too much. I can see I hurt you. Please, I didn't mean to be unkind.
Hurt me? Don't be a fool. You're probably a pious old hypocrite just like everybody else in this town, but I don't know. For some reason, I like you. Now, don't ask me why. I don't know.
May I ask one favor of you?
Why, what do you want?
Will you help me to make my way through the crowd to the other side of the fountain? I want to see his face. I've traveled so far. I'm a little tired. I doubt if I could manage it by myself.
Is that all? All right. Here, take my hand.
Oh, thank you.
Coming through. Now, get out of the way, you stupid. Coming through.
You know, he's
Here,
made the blind to see. people like me who were blind all their lives but didn't realize
No,
it.
you don't really think that...
Oh, I saw him bring sight to a man who'd been blind for 20 years.
Oh, that must have been
Yes.
something to see. Wonder how he did it. No matter. Well, look around you, old man. There's a magic trick for you. That man there, with tears streaming down his face. That's Silas. To look at him now, you'd never dream what a crook he is. And there's Aaron, the wine merchant. He's a cheat.
Oh.
And you see that one in the striped robe over there? The one with the soulful eyes beating his breast? He's one of my best customers.
My child, are you so unhappy? Is it because you recognize yourself and these other unfortunates?
Oh, I recognize myself all right. Through and through. Well, I've taken you through the crowd as you asked. Now, I've got to go.
You're not going.
I said I've got to leave you now. Good luck.
Goodbye. But God go with you.
If he did, he might not like the company I keep.
What's the matter with you anyway?
What do you mean?
You know what I mean. You know exactly what I mean.
No, I don't.
That old man back there. We could have lifted his purse. That's what I mean.
So?
So, have you all of a sudden gone virtuous or something? Should I stop bringing you trade? I can spread the word, you know. I
don't
fix
care what
things
you
so-
do.
You've gotten awfully independent, eh? Oh, come on, Mary. So one old man got away. So what? Come on. You need me and I need you. What do you say?
All right, Isaac. Let bygones be bygones. It's me, your sister.
Mary?
It's the middle of the night, Mary. What do you want? I want to talk. I'd like to talk to you.
What if you want money? I told you, no more money, and I meant it, Mary.
I just want to talk to you, Martha. Can I come in?
Well, all right, come in.
Can I sit down? I'm very weary. I've been walking all night.
I'm not interested in...
Please, Martha, please. I didn't come here to fight with you. Don't start one with me. I might deserve it. I probably do deserve it, but just let me stay with you a little while.
How long has it been since you ate?
This morning, I think. I don't remember.
I'll get you something.
That would be very kind.
You seem different. I don't know what it is. Are you in trouble? Are you sick?
No, I'm not sick. And I'm not in trouble either.
And what is it? Did you steal something? Oh, Mary, when I refused you the money, I'll never forgive myself if I brought you to trouble. Never. I was only trying to do the right thing.
Oh, no, Martha, it's nothing like that. You know, you can be very sweet when you're not trying to show how righteous you are.
You said you wanted to talk. What about? Now, are you sure you're not in some kind of trouble?
Trouble? I never said anything about trouble.
Why, yes, you did. You did, too. You said... Oh, well, I don't know what you said exactly.
Oh, I know. You thought the authorities were after me. You thought I was in hiding. Oh, I don't know what you thought.
Don't take that tone with me, Mary. You came here to my home. You came here to me. You only notice I'm alive when you need something. Now what is it?
What's the matter? You afraid I might be going to prison? Doing more harm to the good name of Martha, the holy woman? Is that it?
Oh, just a minute.
Oh, never mind, Martha, never mind. Whatever it is, I couldn't have talked to you about it anyway. You wouldn't understand.
There you go again. You're always saying I wouldn't understand. Who do you think you are on top of everything else, Solomon?
Oh, don't be a hypocrite.
Oh, so that's right. I'm a hypocrite. I forgot. I do my duty. You disgrace me, and I am a hypocrite. Oh, you have the gall to call me anything or tell me anything about your sordid affairs.
Oh, sister, I could tell you a lot of things.
Well, don't. There are times when you seem so ugly and so bad that I even feel unclean myself.
Oh, so the truth is finally out.
Are you satisfied now? Did you get what you wanted? You made me say it. Are you satisfied? Then go on and get out of here.
You bet I'll get out of here.
Mary, wait. Mary, come back. I didn't want that. I didn't mean to quarrel. Oh, why must everything go wrong?
Hello.
Hmm?
Remember me?
Oh.
I helped you yesterday.
Yes. Can I do something for you, child?
Well, I just... Never mind. I won't bother you.
No, wait. Will you join me for breakfast? We'll see if any of the shops are open. Must be quite early.
Oh, never mind. I don't know why I looked for you anyway.
Come with me and help me find something to eat. Meanwhile, you can talk to me about whatever is on your mind. Or I'll talk to you. If that doesn't suit you, we can not talk at all. Is that all right?
Yeah. Yes, that's all right.
You take a simple orange. It's a wonderful thing, isn't it? Why, an orange? Oh, there I go again, rambling on. Forgive me.
No. You make things seem very nice.
Don't things seem nice to you?
Well,
I'm so terribly unhappy. I'm so miserable. And it's your fault. I was all right until you were kind to me. But now I don't know what came over me. I even thought that talking to my sister would help. It's so crazy I've been acting. My sister. What a laugh. We just don't get along. Sometimes I think that a long time ago she could have stopped me. Well, it's too late now.
It's very human to blame others for our miseries. We all do it. I mistrust myself, so I mistrust my neighbor. And I hate myself. Oh, there's no end to it if we let it go on.
I had a fight with Martha. I don't feel like fighting with you two. Goodbye.
No, wait.
Go talk to my sister Martha. You two would get along fine.
Where have you been, Mary? Mary, I've got a lot of plans for today.
All right, Isaac. Calm down. I had a very tiring night.
Well, hand it over.
Let go of my arm.
Hand it over, I said. Don't start getting smart with me.
I said let go of my arm. I'm through, Isaac. I've never held anything back from you. If I did, you stupid fool, I'd own half of this town. And watch your threats. You try anything and you might wake up in an alley, dead.
What?
I'm getting out of here. And if you ever come near me again, you'll find out that I'm not bluffing. Do you understand me?
Get out of here, then, before I kill you.
Sure you're speaking of my sister Mary?
Yes. She needs our help. Yours, mine. I'm sure that she wants desperately to see him, Jesus. I know that if she does, her life will be changed. Come with me to find her. Jesus will be in this town until this evening. He's dining at the house of a friend.
But why are you so concerned with Mary? You hardly know her.
My oldest daughter was very much like your sister. She's dead now, but I considered her dead long before. She disgraced me. I hated my child when she needed my love. Because she had no one to turn to, no hope, she took her own life. In Mary, I see my child. I must try to atone.
I've heard of this Nazarene. I don't know. I don't understand these things. He must be a good man. I'll come with you. Mary? Are you in there? Please let us in. Let us talk to you.
Go away. Go away and leave me alone.
Mary, we must talk to you. Please let us in.
What do you want? Oh, Mary, please forgive me for being so hard and so harsh.
What are you talking about?
Last night you came to me for help. You needed me and I turned away. I'm not very wise. Please give me another chance to help, or just to listen if that's what you want.
For once in my life, I don't know what to say. I don't understand.
When we set out looking for you, we stopped at the tavern. We heard what happened. We were frightened.
I had a fight with Isaac. I can never go back, not there, and I don't want to.
I haven't cried in years. And since I met you, old man, it seems to be all I've done. I can't stop.
Oh, Mary, let us help you.
How can you bear to look at me, to touch me?
Listen, Simon told me he's sure Jesus, the Nazarene. Oh, I don't know how to say it. Oh, Simon, will you talk to her?
Mary, he is God. Open your heart to him, your very soul. If you can believe, he will forgive your sins, banish the devils within you. He can bring you peace, Mary. Only you'll let him.
If he is God, or if he's just very good, he'll be revolted. If he is God, he will strike me dead for my evil.
Child, there's nothing he does not know. There's no one he does not love. I will take you to him.
No. No, Simon. It's better if I go alone.
She's been in there such a long time. I'm worried. What if he...
Wait, there's someone coming out. Young man.
Yes?
Did you see a young woman in the house? She was looking for Jesus of Nazareth. Do you know if she found him?
She found him. It was the strangest thing I ever saw.
What happened?
She walked into the room where my master and his guests were getting ready to eat. She stood there just looking at Jesus for the longest time.
Yes. Well, go on.
She didn't say anything. She didn't say anything. Then she turned to me and she said, "I will give you money. Get me a jar of your master's finest oil and his best spices. He's a rich man. He will have the best." I was so surprised that I went and did as she said. She went right up to Jesus. Right up to him.
Please go on. Tell us about the woman.
She fell to her knees in front of Jesus, crying. She cried so much that she washed his feet with her tears. Then she dried him off with her hair. Her hair. Then she took the oil and the spices and anointed his head. I never saw anything like that before in my life. Just never.
What happened then?
One of the guests complained that the woman had wasted a lot of expensive oil and spices. She should have given it to the poor or something. Then Jesus said to let her alone, that she had done a good thing, that the poor will be here a long time, but that he wouldn't be. And then he said that now his body was anointed for burying, and whenever this story is told, it will be like a memorial to her. I tell you, I never saw anything like it.
Simon, what did all that mean?
It means that Mary is safe now, Martha. She's safe.
Of the United Nations, we present one of America's top spine tinglers, a radio rebroadcast of a program dedicated to the mysterious, the unusual, and sometimes the supernatural. A program of suspense.
This is the truth. You understand? The truth. It must be the truth. It has to be. I, Robert Wensley Graham, a doctor and psychiatrist by profession, do hereby of my own free will and volition, albeit with deepest regret, make the following full and complete statement relative to that all but unbelievable series of events which has brought such disaster and misfortune to my house, particularly to my poor wife, Isabel. It had its beginning, properly speaking, some 2 months ago, to be exact, on the evening of July 25th. We were in the drawing room, Isabel at the piano, practicing, as she said. Her Aunt Jane and I on the opposite sides of the room.
Isabel, what's the matter?
I don't know. I can't seem to keep my mind on anything anymore, even my music. Nerves.
Nerves?
Isabel.
Yes, Robert?
I don't wish to distress you, but it's been going on for quite a little while now. It's not getting any better.
I know. Let's not discuss it, shall we?
You should let me prescribe treatment for you.
I could prescribe something for her.
You can do remarkable things now with just the common old drugs under proper control.
Drugs? It's not drugs that she needs. It's to get out of this house for a while. It's to get back to the concert stage where she belongs. It's work.
Aunt Jane, please.
I'm sorry. I don't believe in beating around the bush. You're an artist. You've got talent. There's no sense in your trying to subordinate yourself to somebody else.
Aunt Jane, that's enough. I'm not subordinating myself to anyone.
Really, Aunt Jane, you mustn't interfere, you know.
Robert doesn't want me to go back on the stage.
Darling, it isn't that I don't want you to go back. I'm proud of you. You know that. It's only because I know that Going back to a professional career in your present mental condition would be terribly harmful.
I know, Robert. I know, you're right.
Oh, after all, I'm a doctor. It's my business to know these things. I get it. Probably the hospital. Hello? Hello? Yes, it's Dr. Graham. Oh, yes. It's for... Who? Huh. Well, when would you like to see me? All right. Fine. No trouble at all. Very well, I'll be expecting you. Goodbye. Isabel, good heavens. What do you suppose that was?
Who?
Roger Holcomb. Do you remember the case?
Roger Holcomb? I remember it.
Of course you do. The fellow was brought back from the dead, as the newspapers put it, about a year ago.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, he really was dead for 4 full minutes, as far as medical science was concerned. Then Bates brought him around. It was 9 days' wonder at the time.
Well, what does he want to see you about?
I don't know. Something to do with his experience, obviously. He was in a terribly agitated state. Poor fellow had been walking up and down in front of the house for an hour trying to get up courage to ring the bell. Finally, he phoned from the corner drugstore.
Why, the poor man. Why in the world should he do that?
Anxiety, neurosis. They hounded him, in the most shocking way. Got out of the hospital. Preachers and spiritualists and movie agents, just plain fakers. People trying to find out if he remembered anything of the 4 minutes. He's supposed to be dead. People just trying to exploit him. Oh, must be Holcomb now. Take him into the office.
Dr. Graham?
Yes, you're Roger Holcomb?
Yes.
Come in. Pleasure to meet you, Mr. Holcomb.
Is it?
You come this way, please. My office. Now just sit down anywhere. Lie down on the couch if you like. You're tired.
I am tired. Tired unto death.
Give me your hand, please.
For heaven's sake, there's nothing wrong with my pulse. If that's all you think it is, I'll go.
Why did you come to me, Mr. Holcomb?
You know my history?
Yes, most medical men do. Up until your disappearance.
Yeah, most medical men do, all right. Then they tell me I'm crazy.
Do you think you are, Mr. Holcomb?
Oh, I see. You're like all the rest. Let go of me, please.
Just a minute, Mr. Holcomb. You came to me for advice. For treatment. I suggest you tell me your story.
Well, I was told you specialize in strange cases. Things that other men can't explain.
And that's true in a way.
You know what happened when I got out of the hospital. How
Yes.
they followed me, questioned me, hounded me day and night, trying to find out if I remembered anything, if I'd experienced anything beyond the grave.
Yes, I remember that.
Well, then you remember that my answer was always the same. That I remembered nothing. That I knew nothing. Well, I was wrong.
Oh? What did you experience during those 4 minutes?
I don't know. But it must have been something. Something I don't even dare to think about.
How do you know this?
Well, it happened the first time on a boat trip, which I'd taken to recover my health. I found myself chatting with a woman who was seated at my table in the dining saloon. She found occasion, as such women often will, to mention her age. She said, after all, I'm not yet 40. And then it happened.
What happened?
Well, from somewhere came crashing into my mind the certain knowledge of the exact day and year of that woman's birth. And with it, a compulsion to speak out. A compulsion which I could no more have resisted than I could have resisted breathing. I said, Madam, you were born in May, weren't you? May 30th. And she looked at me in utter astonishment. We'd never even seen each other before in our lives. And said, yes. And then I added the date, the year 1900. See, she was well over 40. She'd lied to me. Innocent enough thing, but I had known the truth. And I'd been forced to speak it. And I have been ever since.
This phenomenon has occurred often?
More times than I can remember. Every time a direct lie, no matter how trivial, is uttered in my presence, I suddenly know the answer to that lie. I know the truth. And I'm compelled to speak it.
And this condition has existed only since your...
Since my 4 minutes beyond the grave, yes.
Quite.
It's as though, in that brief time, I glimpsed eternity. As if I'd seen revealed all truth of all the ages. I can never tell you how horrible that's been. I found that men, even the most honest of men, live by lies.
Tell me, you have a family, friends who are understanding?
Oh, for heaven's sake, Doctor, don't you understand what this has done to me? Yes, I had a family and friends, a girl I was going to marry. Today I'm an outcast. pariah. I'm shunned, feared. I'm hated. Yes, hated.
Mr. Holcomb. Mr. Holcomb, I believe that this condition is very real to you. Causes you very real anguish. I want to help you.
Do you think you can?
I'm confident that I can. Suppose you could arrange to stay with me here at my home for a matter of weeks or months, if necessary.
Well, I'll do anything.
Good.
Anything in the world to be a normal man again, but...
But what?
Dr. Graham, I can see that you still don't believe me.
Oh, no.
I beg of you. You don't know the terrible responsibility I'd be to you. I'd be like a spy, like some inexorable prosecutor from another world.
Mr. Holcomb, let me worry about that.
All right. Is there anyone else in your household who might object?
Oh, no, it's only my wife and her aunt. Have your own quarters. Be quite comfortable, I assure you.
I'm sure I'd be. It's a lovely house, but I've seen of it.
Yes, I'm rather lucky. I'm interested in research primarily. Not much money in that, you know, but a couple of years ago I came into quite a nice inheritance. House went with it. What is it? What's the matter?
The inheritance was not yours. It was your wife's. The house is your wife's. You were penniless.
If that's true, I don't know why I lied to you. Pride, I suppose.
I'm sorry. I told you I couldn't help it.
No.
I'll go now.
Please. Mr. Holcomb, my fault. It's a small matter.
But you see now that
I want to help you.
Do you believe me now?
I believe, Mr. Holcomb, either that you are far more ill than I realized, or that in months to come, you and I must venture into a realm never before explored by mortal man. It was utterly fantastic, and yet it was true. I checked the facts again and again. He could not possibly have known, and yet he knew. Could you imagine what this meant to a man of science? If I could fathom the depths of Roger Holcomb's mind, I could make a contribution to the body of scientific knowledge absolutely without parallel in modern times. I'd be more famous than Pasteur or Ehrlich. There remained the problem of Isabel. I was aware of the danger, of course. I was acutely aware of the peculiarly delicate balance of her mind at that time. Of the fact that the presence of a man like Roger Holcomb might be seriously detrimental to my rather well-conceived plans for Isabel. I believed I could control the situation. I determined to proceed. Actually, Holcomb's presence made itself felt almost immediately. The first incident came after he'd been with us.
Isabel, please stop that playing and listen to me.
Aunt Jane, you know Robert has said I mustn't talk about it, that it's bad for me.
I don't care what Robert said.
But he's my doctor and my husband.
And I'm not sure that he should be either.
Aunt Jane, I don't know much about psychiatry, but I do know that making trouble between a husband and a wife...
I'm not making anything that isn't there already, and you know it. Good heavens, girl. Look at yourself. Look what's happened to you since your marriage.
I've been sick.
He's made you sick.
That's ridiculous.
Maybe it's just that he's afraid of losing you. Maybe he's even afraid of losing your money. But I'm absolutely convinced that whether he's meant to or not, he's made you believe there's something the matter with you that isn't.
Aunt Jane, I simply forbid you to talk this way.
And now he brings this psychopath into the house.
And don't bring Roger into it. He's Robert's patient. It's Robert's work, and it's none of our business.
What about your own work?
It doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter?
Aunt Jane, you simply don't understand. Robert is my husband. I trust him and I love him. Nothing can ever come between us. I'd destroy anything. I'd kill anyone who tried.
Isabel, do something before it's too late.
Do what?
Get away. Leave him. Divorce him. Anything.
Oh, I hope we're not interrupting.
Of course not, darling. Hello, Roger.
Hello, Isabel.
Good afternoon.
How are you feeling, Roger?
I'm better, I think.
I think it would be better if we didn't discuss our states of mind, Isabel.
Oh, of course, I'm sorry. Well, would you like me to play something for you? You know, I think I'm beginning to get the feel of it again. Really, I do.
You're sure we haven't interrupted some conversation?
Of course not. We were just discussing how helpful you've been in getting Isabel back to her work again.
Roger.
No. No, you were not. You were telling Isabel to divorce her husband. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Roger, come back.
Isabel, is that true?
You brought him in here deliberately.
Is that true?
It doesn't matter, I suppose. You've known how I felt for a long time.
Yes, I'm afraid I have.
Robert, it was all so silly. She didn't mean it. It was just
I
that
did
she...
mean it.
But I did mean it. I'm sorry, Isabel. But I've been under this roof too long as it is.
Oh, Jane, you're not leaving us.
It's best, Isabel.
Yes? Yes, I think it's unquestionably best. Best that you go at once. She left us, of course. I'd always believed that Jane exercised an unfortunate influence over Isabel. I did not dream it had reached such a point as this. Yet this incident gave me my first insight into the relationship which was destined to develop between Isabel, Roger, and myself. The first and most obvious result was that within a matter of weeks, Isabel was to lose every friend she had. We became further estranged as each day passed. It was difficult to speak of even the most casual things with this strangely terrifying specter of truth, always at our elbow. The situation reached its inevitable climax the evening that Leopold Sarinsky, the famous conductor of the Los Angeles Symphony, was to call on Isabel with a view to resumption of her professional career under his auspices. I gave a great deal of thought to that evening. It had to be handled with a great...
Robert, you will help me, won't you?
Of course I will, darling.
I don't know whether you realize how important it is to me. I have nothing but the music now. I've been working so hard. Playing sometimes half the night while you were asleep.
I've heard you.
Sometimes it seems that the piano's all that's helping me to keep my sanity.
My darling, I want you to let me prescribe something for you. Time we face this thing, your trouble, I mean.
Robert, does he have to have dinner with us tonight?
Roger? Isabel, you know how I stand on that.
Oh, yes, but just
now,
this one...
Even once, Isabel, keep him in his room like a spoiled child when we have guests. Isabel, it might undo everything I've accomplished in weeks.
Oh, of course. You're right. But,
Oh, Roger, come in.
Robert, I was wondering if I mightn't be excused just tonight.
Oh, you're having dinner with us, Roger.
Must I?
You know you must, Roger, and you know why.
Why, Roger, don't you want to meet the great Leopold Sarinsky? He's really a wonderful person.
Yes, indeed, I would very much.
You know, I made my debut with him in 1934. I did a concert with him every year until I...
Isabel was very talented, you know.
I was? I am. Oh, Roger, I'm going to play with him again. He wants me to open the season in November. Can you imagine what that means to me?
I'm so glad, Isabel.
And Robert has finally given his consent. Haven't you, dear?
I'm sorry. What was it you said, Isabel?
I said you'd given your consent to my playing with Sarinsky.
Why, Isabel, you know I don't want you to think that I'd ever stand in your way.
I know, dear. Roger, I'll do the Emperor Concerto, and you will come to hear me. You do want to, don't you, Roger?
Please, Isabel, don't ask things of me that can't...
What's the matter? What's the matter with both of you? You act as though you thought I wouldn't be able to appear. As though the whole idea were hopeless or something.
Isabel, please.
I am going to play. I'll be better than I ever was. You know I will, don't you? Don't you?
Of course, Isabel. You play wonderfully. Roger.
No, Robert, you're very certain that Isabel will be prevented from ever playing again by death.
Death?
Oh, Isabel, forgive me, please.
By death? No. Oh, no. Please, Roger, it's not true. Tell me it isn't. Roger, answer me. Answer me. Roger, do you hear me? Answer me. Answer me!
When Sarinsky arrived, I told him it'd be quite impossible for Isabel to leave her room. The concert was canceled, and indeed, to my knowledge, she's never touched the piano since that day. By now, to even the most casual observer, it must appear only natural that Isabel had every motive for a desperate, almost paranoid hatred of Roger Holcomb. This much was clear to me. The rest, not yet. But one thing, from any point of view, was certain. I had to keep Roger and Isabel apart. Perhaps what I feared was indeed inevitable. I honestly did not think it so at the time. As a precautionary measure, however, I prescribed a drug for Isabel, which she at last consented to take. I gave her her own supply. She administered it to herself, as I had directed.
Roger? Roger?
Yeah?
It's Isabel.
What do you want?
Let me in, please.
No.
Please, it's terribly important.
Robert said that
I
I'm
know.
not-
But he said it would be all right this time.
You sure?
Yes. Yes, please.
All right.
No. What do you want?
I want to talk to you, that's all.
What about it that's so important?
Roger, why don't you ever leave your room anymore?
Can't you guess?
Do you think I hate you?
Isabel, I don't know what to think anymore.
You do, don't you?
I warned him. I told him it would happen. Now I'm going mad up here thinking of the anguish I've caused you.
But, Roger, I don't. You must believe me.
I know what it's been like for you having me here. Isabel.
Roger, you see, for the first time in my life, I think my husband is wrong about something.
Wrong?
Yes. Don't you see? He's been worried about both of us. And so this distrust has grown up between us.
Well, I don't distrust you, Isabel. You've been more wonderful to me than I
But
can say.
you're afraid of me. And that amounts to the same thing. And it's bad for the both of us. It's hurting both of us.
I've often felt I wanted to talk to you, to beg your pardon.
Oh, you don't have to do that. We're both sick. But I think if we saw each other sometimes, if we talked the whole thing out, it would help us both.
Well, does Robert think so, too?
No.
Then he didn't tell you it was all right to see me.
No. I lied to you.
You what?
I lied to you.
You lied to me. And it didn't happen. Isabel, don't you see? I am getting well. It didn't happen.
I know. I don't think it does happen anymore. Except with Robert.
With Robert? What makes you think
I
that...
don't know. Something about the way he acts. The way he is.
Oh, but Isabel, he is curing me. Then perhaps you shouldn't have come
No,
up with...
no, don't you understand? We must see each other. We must talk.
No, listen.
Isabel.
Robert, something's happened that I must tell you
Please,
about.
you're completely overwrought.
Oh, but Robert, if
I
you
must
want to-
insist, Isabel, why did you do this?
I'm
You have to
sorry.
have a sedative right away. Isabel, get the bottle from your room.
Mine?
Yes, please, hurry.
All right.
Robert, she lied to me.
Yes, I know. But, Roger, I must absolutely forbid you to talk now. You must trust me.
All right, but later I want to have a long talk with you.
Of course we
She lied.
shall.
Here it is. I brought my hypodermic, too.
I'm glad you did. The other one's mislaid somewhere. Will you give it to him, please?
I?
Yes, I'm sorry, but this has upset me rather badly. My hands are shaking.
Robert, I'm terribly sorry.
No matter now. Give him the hypodermic, the upper arm. That's right.
There.
Thank you. Leave us now, please, Isabel.
All right.
How are you feeling now, Roger?
Well, I'm fine, Robert. I think I'm better than I've been in months.
I know you're better. That's why I was so upset to see you.
Why, Robert?
Can't tell you all my reasons now, but you must trust me and believe in me.
Oh, I do, but...
Only that I'm afraid for your health. Roger.
No. You're afraid of murder.
What?
Murder.
Roger, listen to me. Roger.
Murder.
Roger, what are you talking about? Roger. Roger! It was clear to me now. I knew I must take immediate action. I knew that the most terrible consequences might result if Isabel were alone with Roger, even for a moment. But he knew that he'd said so. There was no other explanation. I thought it through most carefully. And yet no plans are perfect. No man is infallible. Isabel!
Robert, frightened.
What are you doing?
Nothing.
Don't lie to me, Isabel.
I'm not. I
You
was
were coming from Roger's room.
No. No, I swear I won't.
Isabel, don't you understand that you're sick? That I've insisted on these things for your own good and his.
All right. I was going to talk to him, but I haven't.
Oh, Isabel. Why do you try to tell me that?
But it's true, Robert. Really true.
Is it? Roger? Roger?
What's the matter?
Look,
Robert. No, it couldn't be.
it is. He's dead.
Dead.
Hypodermic by his side, the drug, your hypodermic.
But it's only a sedative.
Except that in large enough quantity, it's fatal. You knew that.
Oh, Robert, don't listen to me.
Isabel, why? Why, I warned you.
Robert, look at me. It's Isabel. It's your wife. You can't... Oh, no. Where are you going? Come back.
I'm going to call the police. It was perhaps the most terrible decision a man ever had to make, even though it did come not as a shock to me, even from my point of view as a scientist. It was terrible enough. Yet it had to be done, and I had done it. I did not speak to her as we waited, and she made no further attempt to appeal to me. She seemed utterly stupefied, perhaps as a result of the drugs she'd herself been taking. Perhaps because she suddenly realized she was hopelessly trapped. When police arrived, I told the story with as little emotion.
Yes, there are fingerprints all right on both the bottle and
Those
the
would be
hypodermic.
my wife's, of course. They both belong to her.
Is that true, Mrs. Graham?
Yes.
Dr. Graham, do I understand then that you are formally charging your wife with the murder of Roger Holcomb?
Well, you could hardly expect me to do that, could you? I'm simply telling you the facts.
Yes, but you said she hated Holcomb, and you knew it.
My wife has been mentally ill for some time. There are many people who can testify to that. You plead insanity, of course.
Dr. Graham, I can't tell you how sorry I am, but the things you have told me add up to only one thing, as you yourself obviously recognize.
Yes.
Your wife, Isabel Graham, murdered Roger Holcomb.
What did you say?
I said your wife, Isabel Graham, murdered Roger Holcomb.
No. I murdered him. What? I tried to make it appear that Isabel had done it. And I succeeded. But I killed him. No plans are perfect. No man is infallible. Yes, I killed Roger Holcomb. And he himself revealed the truth. I'd planned to dispose of Isabel for many months. I'd never loved her. I'd loved only science. I wanted her money, and Holcomb found it out. That was the risk I ran. But any chance lie in his presence, either by Isabel or myself, bring out the truth, and it did. I had no alternative once he'd discovered that but to kill him. It's easy enough to throw the blame on Isabel. I had not counted on that terrible compulsion for the truth. That strange affliction of Roger Holcomb's and its power over me. Did it transfer itself at his death to me? Or was it conscious? Pity that it had to end this way. It was a fascinating case.
And so closes Lazarus Walks, starring Orson Welles. Tonight's tale of suspense.
This rebroadcast is a presentation of the Armed Forces Radio Service.